Next on the news, prayers by the Pope kicking off the final session of the synod. The Holy Father asked the hundreds of delegates to keep an open mind as they discuss the global church. A California Catholic hospital is being sued after denying a so-called emergency abortion because one of the women's twin babies still had a heartbeat. Students from Cristo Rey high schools across the country have a shot at a full ride at a Jesuit college. They're calling it the Santa Clara University Promise. Plus, it's not a fashion trend, but a tool used for prayer. These two designers are making veils that could walk a runway, but are meant to walk church aisles as women attend Mass. I'm Christine Persichetti. Currents News starts right now. After 3 years of listening and learning, the final phase of the Global Synod is now underway. For the next 4 weeks, hundreds of delegates from all over the world will be in Rome to talk about the needs of the Universal Church. The first day of discussions began with prayers led by Pope Francis. 368 members of the Synod walk down the center aisle of St. Peter's Square as Pope Francis inaugurates the final session with a Mass. The Holy Father telling the participants they need to use their hearts and minds to discuss the topics planned.
Non possiamo permetterci di staccare gli occhi dai bambini, che Gesù continua a mettere al centro delle nostre riunioni e dei nostri tavoli di lavoro per ricordarci che l'unica via per essere all'altezza del compito che ci è affidato è quella di abbassarsi. È quella di farci piccoli e di accoglierci a vicenda come tali, con umiltà.
While last year's sessions included topics like women deacons and the inclusion of LGBT individuals, those issues have since been taken out of the official working document for the Synod and instead assigned to 10 working groups. Those groups will not participate in the global meetings, but gave presentations on their work so far to the Assembly on Wednesday. At the end of the Mass, Pope Francis looked to the needs of the Universal Church and invited members of the Assembly to pray with him for peace in Gaza on October 6th.
Per invocare dall'intercessione di Maria Santissima il dono della pace, domenica prossima mi recherò nella Basilica di Santa Maria Maggiore, dove reciterò il Santo Rosario e rivolgerò alla Vergine un'accorata supplica. Se possibile chiedo anche a voi, membri del Sino, di unirvi a me in quell'occasione.
Pope Francis also called for October 7th to be a day of fasting and prayer for peace in the world. Unlike last year's synod, there will be sessions open to the public. All members are still required to maintain confidentiality for the remaining talks. Those 368 delegates include both clergy and laity, and not all of them are from the previous session. Nicaraguan Bishop Rolando Alvarez is attending this round of meetings. During the 2023 sessions, he was in jail, arrested by the Ortega regime and sentenced to 26 years in prison for conspiracy. 2 Chinese bishops will also be present, though it's unclear if they will stay during all 4 weeks. Last year, they only attended the first few days of the synod. A new report says the Chinese Communist Party is removing religious items not in line with its political and policy agenda. The report, published by the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom, says Chinese officials are ordering the removal of crosses from churches and are replacing images of Christ and Mary with President Xi Jinping. They're also allegedly censoring religious texts, forcing clergy to preach Communist Party ideology, and mandating the party's slogans be displayed in churches. Meantime, in the U.S., a Catholic hospital in California is being sued for denying a so-called emergency abortion. The lawsuit, brought by the state's attorney general, claims Providence St. Joseph Hospital in Eureka violated numerous laws by discharging Anna Nusslock instead of treating her. Nusslock says she was 15 weeks pregnant with twins when her water broke prematurely. Doctors apparently told her the twins would not survive and she would face life-threatening complications without an abortion. But because one of the unborn babies still had a detectable heartbeat, the hospital would not perform the procedure. Nussblock was discharged and taken to a different hospital where the pregnancy was aborted. Providence says they are committed to the health and wellness of women and pregnant patients and currently reviewing the filings. Louisiana now has a first-in-the-nation law that lists two main abortion medications as controlled dangerous substances. Beyond abortion, mifepristone and misoprostol are used for miscarriage management and, in misoprostol's case, to stop bleeding after childbirth. Under the law, misoprostol is now required to be stored in a locked box like other controlled substances. Abortion was already illegal in Louisiana with some narrow exceptions. Some Catholic school students could have the chance to attend college in California free of charge. Graduates from the National Cristo Rey network of Catholic college preparatory high schools can now apply for a full ride to Santa Clara University. It's part of what the college calls the Santa Clara University Promise, taking the roughly $80,000 cost to attend the Jesuit school and cutting it down with the help of state and federal financial aid so any student can become a Bronco.
This takes the barrier out of can I afford it? And those students who, again, have spent so much dedicated time and commitment and their families, we want to give them hope.
The program begins next academic year and is also open to all first years from California who meet certain requirements. One Brooklyn-based design house is filling a fashion void for people who want to profess their faith. As more Catholics choose to veil during Mass, Litany NYC is creating bold and bright pieces that show the soul. Currents News' Jessica Easthope has the story from Crown Heights.
Veronica Marinin uses her grandmother's sewing machine to put a hem on a scarf in her new collection. As co-founder of Litany NYC, her goal is to clothe not just the body, but the soul.
As a Catholic, how does my clothing express my soul? How can I share my personality the unique way God made me through what I wear?
Over her shoulder is assistant designer Rebecca Kramer. The pair talk through every stitch, making sure the product they send out
a small Mary Mother of Church, please.
Gets the stamp of approval.
Fashion doesn't have a lot of modesty wear, and if it is, it's not very flattering. So Litany offers that modesty look.
The two women, both graduates of the Fashion Institute of Technology, are on the heels of a cultural revival.
This is our St. Joseph, Spouse of Our Lady scarf.
Filling a void for Catholics who choose to veil during Mass.
And this is how typically we would wear it.
Veiling has become big. Girls our age, young women wanting to veil in church.
Litany's scarf designs, inspired by saints, devotions, and gospel stories, are different than the common lace veils women were required to wear before the Second Vatican Council in 1962. The same veil Veronica grew up wearing.
I'm aware that I'm in this special place of worship, and I put my veil on and it helps me remember that.
Now, as popularity grows, so do sales. Sales of this Holy Family scarf are up 34% from 2023. Sales of the St. Joseph, Spouse of Our Lady scarf is up 81%.
And sales on this scarf, called Mary Mother of the Church, are up 100% from last year.
Litany says last year, before more people were veiling, that design was purchased 33 times. This year, it's been purchased 67 times.
What are people buying? What do they want? And how can we fulfill that need?
Almost like the empowerment behind it that we're giving these women. I want to veil. I feel confident. I feel comfortable. And I'm happy to be doing it.
Litany scarves allow Catholics to display their faith in a personal way.
Knowing a little bit of the design behind it is going to help them believe the truth that they are so beautiful and so beloved by God.
The team says though veils are making a comeback, the devotion behind them never went out of style. In Crown Heights, Jessica Easthope, Currents News.
The team at Litany NYC is currently designing a full collection of custom modest garments and scarves to be released in 2025. But if you're interested in purchasing something now, all of their designs can be found on their website, litanynyc.com. That is this Currents News Update. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.